This is Barbara serving as your host today, and Brother P is here as your co-host.
Yes, and I am so glad to be, and we are both glad to have you join us this time.
Well, our title today is, when is the first day of the week? Is it Sunday? Is it Monday? Or could it even be Saturday? Well, International Standard, the ISO 8601 standard, defines Monday as the first day of the week. And this is used in most of Europe and in China. So this shows you a 2025 calendar, and every one of those weeks start on a Gregorian Monday. North America, Israel, and many Catholic and Protestant countries, Sunday is considered as the first day of the week. And so you'll see the 2025 calendar here with Sunday beginning every one of the Gregorian weeks. So whether the Gregorian calendar shows Sunday or Monday as the first day of the week depends on where you live. Most countries start the week on Monday, but most people start on Sunday. 67 countries and over 4 billion people start the week on Sunday. 160 countries and roughly 3.3 billion people start on Monday. So if 3.3 billion people start their week on Monday, are Saturday Sabbatarians keeping Saturday as the sixth day of the week on a Gregorian calendar? That's a good question. Maybe they haven't thought about it. Well, how many Seventh-day Adventists are keeping the sixth day of the week now as their seventh-day Sabbath? All those over in Europe and all those countries that have changed? Will they choose to follow the Gregorian calendar and worship on the seventh day, which is now Sunday, since it was made law in 1988 by the ISO. So hundreds of denominations around the world do keep a Saturday Sabbath on a Gregorian calendar. So now, are they on day 6 or day 7?
Sunday is the first day of the week for roughly half of the world. Monday is the first day of the week for the other half. That's 55% for Sunday, and 44% keep Monday as the first day of the week. In terms of population, it's almost 50-50. Half of the world's population begin the week on Sunday. Almost all countries in North and South America start their week on Sunday, while countries in Europe and Oceania overwhelmingly start on Monday. The world's most populated countries are split. Roughly half the countries in Africa and Asia are on Team Sunday, and the other on Team Monday.
Well, how does Sunday become the first day?
Our oldest historical records go back to the Babylonians, roughly 5,800 years ago. The Babylonians already had a 7-day week, starting with the day of the sun. The other days were named after other celestial bodies and the corresponding Babylonian gods.
So I'll leave all these links below for you to look up for yourself. The ancient Greeks took over the Babylonian system and renaming the days of the week to fit the Greek gods. And their week started with the day of Helios, the Greek sun god. And when the Romans invaded Greece, they imported their system of weekdays as well.
The Romans renamed the Greek days and used Roman names for their bodies of their solar system. The Roman week then started with Dies Solis, that is, the day of the sun. Dies Solis is a Latin phrase that translates to the day of the sun. and is the name for the day of the week known as Sunday. The English word Sunday comes from the Old English words sune, meaning sun, and day, meaning day.
Well, when the Romans invaded Central Europe, Germanic, like the Saxons, adopted the Roman week. Dies Solis became sun and day. When the Angles and the Saxons invaded Britain and made it Anglo-Saxon, they took their days with them, and Sunday became Sunday. The first day of the week has been named after the mightiest celestial body in our sky, the sun. And the last day of the week became known as a Jewish day of rest, the Sabbath. So why is Monday the first day of the week?
Setting the standard, ISO 8601. In 1988, the change from Sunday to Monday was made official with the international standard ISO 8601. The International Organization for Standardization, the ISO, founded in 1946 in Switzerland, has issued several standards concerning time and dates. Perhaps the most prominent one is the ISO 8601, first published in 1988 and continuously updated. It defines Monday as the first day of the week.
So virtually all European countries follow this standard and have adopted Monday as their start of the week. Many countries worldwide that have changed or updated their calendars more recently also follow the international standard. So we see that all of Europe is starting their week on Monday. Well, Saturday is a third option. Calendars in Iran, Afghanistan, and Somalia show Saturday as the first day and Friday the last day of the week. And Friday is the main prayer day for Muslims, so many used to start their week on Saturday. But this practice has only changed since the year 2000. Muslims changed their first day of the week in 2000 from Saturday to Sunday. And this changed in 2000 when Jordan shifted to the Friday-Saturday weekend. And since then, most countries in the Middle East and other Muslim majority countries have switched to the Friday-Saturday weekend, and they start their work week on Sunday. So the first day of the week in different countries. Well, we have Sunday over here, North and South America. Then you'll see most of Europe and Australia have Monday, and there in the Middle East is Saturday. Man has changed the first day of the week many times over the century. But what does the Bible say about time?
Daniel 7:25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws.
Well, the world's oldest calendar.
All nations and lunar months. Among all earlier nations, the lunar months were the readiest large division of time, and was divided in 4 weeks, corresponding to the phases or the quarters of the moon. In order to connect the reckoning by weeks with the lunar month, we find that all ancient nations observe some peculiar solemnities to mark the day of the new moon. That from the popular and critical Bible Encyclopedia of 1904.
Well, how were the days of the week numbered at the time of Yeshua? And his Hebrew name is Yeshua, and you might know him as Jesus, his Greek name. Well, you are not going to find the term Saturday or Sunday anywhere in the Bible because the Bible never names the days. The days of the week are all numbered.
The historical records reveal the truth. Most scholars are honest enough with the evidence to admit that Israel did not observe a solar-only calendar like the Gregorian calendar we have today. The historical record reveals the truth of the matter very well. From the Encyclopedia Biblica, the Hebrew month is a lunar month, and the quarter of this period, one phase of the moons, appears to have determined the week of 7 days. Also from Hutton Webster, in his book Rest Day, the early Hebrews employed lunar 7-day weeks, which ended with special observances on the 7th day, but nonetheless tied to the moon's course.
Okay, well, it is a known fact that Israel observed the Sabbath based on the lunar cycle. And here's a quote from the Universal Jewish Encyclopedia. Sabbath and new moon, Rosh Chodesh, both periodically recurring in the course of the year. The new moon is still, and the Sabbath originally was dependent upon the lunar cycle. So Israel's calendar at the time of Yeshua. Israel's calendar numbered the days of their week, such as first day of the week, second day of the week, etc. The pagan names attributed to the Roman weekdays are not consistent with the days on Yah's calendar. So in other words, Sunday does not equal the first day on a biblical week. Passover, unleavened bread, and first fruits, all these feasts of Yah are numbered with numbered days of the week in the calendar that is placed in the Bible.
Leviticus 23. These are the feast of Yahweh, holy convocations, which you shall proclaim at their appointed times. On the 14th day of the month at twilight is Yahweh's Passover, and on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread to Yahweh. 7 days you must eat unleavened bread. On the first day you shall have a holy convocation. You shall do no customary work on it. When you come into the land which I give you, and reap its harvest, you shall bring a sheaf of firstfruits of your harvest to the priest. He shall wave the sheaf before Yahweh to be accepted on your behalf. On the day after the Sabbath, the priest shall wave it. The day of firstfruits was on the first day of the week that followed the Sabbath.
Okay, so the Passover was on the 6th day of the week when Yeshua died, and the Sabbath was on the 7th day, and that's when Yeshua rested in the grave. And the first day, first fruits, is when Yeshua rose from the grave. And Yeshua said he would rise on the 3rd day. And the 3rd day is the day that he was risen. And we have a whole article on our website. I'll leave the link here about the 3rd day. And also I'll add that video at the end for you. So on the biblical calendar here, the Passover lamb died on Passover, the 14th day of the first month. And that is the preparation day before the Sabbath.
Mark also records that Joseph buried Yeshua on Preparation Day. Of course, that's the day before the Sabbath and before the feast. It was Preparation Day, that is the day before the Sabbath, and that's Mark 15:42a. So Joseph brought some linen cloth and took down the body and wrapped it in the linen and placed it in a tomb cut out of rock. Then he rolled a stone against the entrance of the tomb. That's Mark 15:46. Luke and John also confirm that Yeshua died on the day of preparation. Now, from Luke, it says, "Then he took it down and wrapped it in linen cloth and placed it in the tomb cut in the rock, one in which no one had yet died. It was preparation day, and the Sabbath was about to begin." Now, John, in 19 and 42, says, "Because it was the Jewish day of preparation, and since the tomb was nearby, they laid Yeshua there."
So Yeshua kept the Sabbath even in his death. And the timing of Yeshua's crucifixion, death, and resurrection is one of the strongest pieces of evidence proving that the Sabbath is the seventh day of the week, and that Resurrection Day is not a Sunday on a Roman Gregorian calendar. The first day of the week in the Bible is not a Sunday, the day that's named after a sun god, at the tomb. The first day of the week. The Bible teaches that Yeshua rose on the first day of the week.
We can see this through the resurrection of Yeshua, Messiah. It is commonly taught that Yeshua was resurrected on Sunday. However, the Bible says that it is the first day of the week. Matthew 28:1. Now, after the Sabbath, as the first day of the week began to dawn, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary came to see the tomb. Luke 24:1-7. Now, upon the first day of the week, very early in the morning, they came unto the sepulchre, bringing the spices which they had prepared, and certain others with them. And they found the stone rolled away from the sepulchre, and they entered in, and found not the body of the Master, Yeshua.
So Yah's calendar is in the heavens, and it is numbered. It has numbers. That's what the Bible says. And that is how time was measured in the Bible. So to access more information how time is measured in the Bible, weeks, days, and years, please go to our website, LunarSabbathDay.com. And remember, Psalms 89:37 says, "It will be established forever like the moon, the faithful witness in the sky." So thank you for being here today.